great to have your company here on DXB today. Thanks so much indeed for being part of our family this evening as we discuss and celebrate the Year of Family. Time now for us to look at some of the challenges facing the families of 2026. Our next guest is the Director of Digital Wellbeing and Community Engagement at Digital Bridge. Payal Patel, thank you so much indeed for joining us.
Thank you so much.
You for being with us.
Thank you, Tom.
I'm conscious of that. I need to put that away, don't I? You know, because one of the biggest challenges, surely, at the moment when it comes to family values has to be those screen time. I mean, massive question, but how much of an impact is it having at the moment on family values per se? And is there a solution or not?
The solution, I think it's an ongoing one ever since the digital era has entered our lives, which is actually not new, right? We've been facing this for a very long time. Screens have offered us entertainment, brought us together, so there's a lot of positive value that's come out of it. But I think where it's gotten a bit more demonized is after COVID, when we just saw a surplus of screens everywhere. I mean, at any given time, my kids were old enough to be online learning, work was everywhere, and I think at any given time I could look around and count at least 10 plus screens around for entertainment, work, balance, whatever. So how it's become a little bit more of a conflictive thing, I think, is the word screen time. Screen time also insinuates a timed experience, something that feels, honestly, gives you a little bit of anxiousness right away. When you're timed for something, you feel edgy, you feel nervous. And it's gotten a bad connotation. So when we talk about screen purpose, we shift the dialogue. We're talking about the same thing, but we're just shifting the narrative a bit. We talk about purposeful technology. We talk about it being of an aid rather than a hindrance. But that comes with many other facets, which we can get into eventually, but time management, you know, about a shared experience together, and less about yelling and more about conversation, discussion.
Payal, I know like at schools, different schools have different screen policies, but we're seeing a lot of, for example, Scandinavian countries, I think, where they're actually pulling screens back out of the classroom. And I know that not all screens are created equal, but what is your position on the use of screens in educational settings?
It's a great question, Reem. I think screens in education definitely do have a purpose. Again, post-COVID, it became more of a crutch than it did anything else, but I don't blame anyone around there, and that's very much Digital Bridge's philosophy. We're a no-blame culture, because there is value, and as long as we can announce that value and make sure that our children are learning, again, that purpose for it. I mean, there is a reason why it's a fine line, so I definitely get why the EU has pushed things like social media to a higher level of age. I don't actually foresee that UAE will be further behind that, to be honest, but that's because the waters have gotten a bit muddied. Education is there, entertainment is there, and suddenly the lines are very blurry between the two. So it helps us to distinguish that for our children as much as possible.
So you came at a great time, because I'm really struggling with something at home and I can't find my balance. Hopefully you have the answers here. I was reading something recently about it's not actually how much we expose our kids to screen, but it's more impactful in terms of how we set an example for our kids. How often are we on our screens and looking down when they look at us, and how engaged are we, and et cetera. Now my question is, I want to be there physically with the kids. So I'm answering emails when I'm out and about with them. I have to take calls. I'm ordering my groceries. I'm doing everything that I need to do, coordinating on my phone. I'm on Google Maps. I'm on my phone a lot. And I'm aware they're looking at me and they see me looking down. Again, I'm trying to do things with purpose, but at the end of the day, I'm still engaged with my screen. And I try to explain to them why. How do I find that balance? I mean, am I wrong? Am I right? What should I do?
It's a very fair question, and actually I'm going to revert to the first time I met you at the Meta Nina launch for Instagram teen accounts. So
I was probably still struggling with the same thing.
No, but it was really wonderful because we were in a very intimate focus group, and I remember you saying, because you have a strong presence on social media, but how you involve your children in the experience, it becomes a less of, I'm doing this, you're on the outside. It becomes more of, this is what I'm doing. This is the kind of creativity I'm doing. So I think, again, where the purpose shows of grocery shopping, finding, I have to use Waze religiously. It's always running in the background. There's probably a road right now in Dubai that's changed as we're talking right now. So it is a fine line. It's going to always evolve. But as long as we're doing check-ins with each other, I oftentimes, so I used to work in the medical space prior to being in many walks of life by paths of careers, and I worked with Alzheimer's medications, and I remember us telling families, have your loved ones that are suffering from dementia actually talk about their routine out loud. Now I'm going to bring that same reflection back. As we are doing things, it sounds a bit crazy, but talk out loud. I'm going to go online and get to ways so I can take you to that birthday party. I've got to get food delivery because it's Friday night and the kitchen's closed. Let's have fun. If you're talking out loud, you're making it more normal rather than something that looks, again, you feel guilty because you're
like
looking
I'm scrolling,
down. Exactly, exactly. So it's about addressing what we're doing and talking openly about it, and hopefully that will institute that same comfort with our children to be like, hey mom, I'm gonna go online to be on this for this amount of time. Scoot next to them and ask them, well, what are you doing? Show me. You know, and I think that's another thing is we need to show them. If we've got umpteenth emails, show them the amount of emails. Show them how important you are, you know? Show them your relevance of why you need to stay connected, and hopefully they can imitate the same behavior.
I found something interesting that you said. Yelling is not the solution. Like, you don't get your kids, put them aside, yell at them because they're using their phones a lot, their iPads a lot. How can someone tackle that? Because the thing is, old school parenting, a lot of them would be like, you know what, you can't do that.
Yes.
But then nowadays, it needs to be spoken and having a proper conversation for the kid to understand what you're saying. It's not always yelling that's a solution, right?
Absolutely, and it's a very fair point because we have done research about digital well-being. In fact, we had the UAE's first digital well-being research project where we looked at the biggest conflict that came with families, and it was around technology, and it was around the dynamics of just not understanding each other, probably with elevated voices.
Yes.
You know? So where it comes in, and this is sometimes reactionary, but we have to think about this, when there's no conflict is the best time to have the conversations. That's tricky because we're balancing so many different things in life. So I'm not trying to simplify it by any means, but if you have that aha moment on a Saturday and you're flipping pancakes and life just looks like you're in an Instagram, ironically, look at your children and say, hey, you know what, I just heard something, and bring real life scenarios in there, not to scare them, but to educate them. I think so much of what we try to do is to protect them, but we don't actually involve them in the conversation. So having a conversation when there's less conflict, you'll get more of an impact because our children, their cognitive ability, their rationale, that frontal cortex is not evolved, and it won't be. I always say buckle up to my parents because it won't be until they're about 21 years old. So when they're yelling, we're yelling, who's the child, who's the parent? That's where, again, where role modeling has to come in.
That's what I find fascinating. My kids are a bit more grown up now, but they're that much more digital savvy than I am. So they're almost one step ahead of me on the conversation when we're having that conversation back in the day. So, I mean, we've been brought together to have this conversation because of Year of the Family. I mean, this is the perfect year for parents, for families to be having that conversation moving forward. Constructive rather than aggressive.
Yes, correct, absolutely. And I love, honestly, the UAE's intention about the family dynamic being the utmost importance because as much forward thinking and innovative as this country is, they're peeling back the layers and going right down to the root. And the root comes from us as family connecting.
Yeah, the Year of the Family.
Well, thank you so much for such incredible insight. Now, we do know you had something in store for our viewers, didn't you?
Yes, we do. So in the spirit of the Year of the Family, we are offering something that we often do with schools, which is a workshop about vision and values. So we are offering the Year of the Family 21-day challenge, where it takes about 21 days to start a habit. I'm sure you guys have all heard that before.
Oh, I take that very seriously. Yes.
Oh, yes, yeah, I know. I think everyone does January 1st when we go to the gym, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So with that, we actually help construct what your vision and values are as a family. So we teach our children etiquette, how to say please, thank you. We hold their hands and teach them how to cross the street safely, but we don't teach them digital literacy. We don't scale back to say, hey, no phones on the table, let's have a tech-free face-to-face experience. So we help build that and construct that with families, and you can find out more information about that on our Instagram handle. And I will go live on Sunday with families to help them get started and follow them along on their journey.
And can you share that Instagram handle or website?
It's at Digital Bridge HQ.
As we can see.
Yeah,
That's
thank
great.
you so
well,
much.
thank you so much for being with us on
Such a
today's
pleasure.
episode.
So Ahmed, you got a quiz quickly? We gotta go.
Dina,
Let's move
the
it
quiz
along.
is with you for Reem. Let's
Yes.
go.
Oh, am I the one doing it? Goodness.
All right.
Okay, let's go. I'm
ready.
ready. Okay, let's cue the clock, guys. I was like, Ahmed, let's go, let's go. It's me. I'm quizzing you. I'm very excited for this Reem. Okay, we're putting you on the spot, in the spotlight, and we're gonna try to get to know you. We've got 60 seconds to answer as many questions as possible, and let's cue the clock. It's 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Biggest lesson that you learned that no one taught you in school?
That failure is a necessary part of growth.
I love it. One skill every child should learn before 12.
How to ask for help.
A habit that you picked up as a founder that has really stuck.
Oh, blocking my time in my calendar so I'm committed.
This is great. Are you prepared? Okay, one thing you now value
I'm
more
just very
than
competitive.
success.
Sorry, you'll say that again.
One thing that you now value more than success.
Quality time with my family.
Love it. Listening or speaking, which superpower matters more?
Listening, and I'm working on it.
Ideal dinner guest, educator, artist, or activist? Anyone in mind?
Activist.
One word children have taught you that adults forgot. Or a lesson.
A lesson to really be present and enjoy the moment.
All right, well, the time is up, but just finally, why Dubai?
Oh my goodness, Dubai, I feel like everything is possible in Dubai. There's so much, even just the fact that we launched an entire summit and were able to invite 64 speakers, and like I feel like that would have been nearly impossible to do anywhere else in this world. Clearly the leadership here is here to facilitate dreams to come true, and I'm just so grateful to have that opportunity.
Reem, you are amazing. We're so glad we had you on
Thank
the
you for
show.
having me.
Thank
This
you.
has
Thank
been
you
great.
both.
It
And
was
thank you so
lovely.
much, Payal,
Thank
as well.
you.
Both of these great advice to kick off the new year. So say thanks on behalf of all parents watching.